Welcome back, everybody, to another episode League of Inches podcast. Right, round 23 Supercoach show. We're coming at you. It is head-to-head finals week one in basically any draft, any standard classic head-to-head Supercoach competition you're in. Majority of them, it is the big dime. It's the big dance now. We're into it. Very exciting stuff. Obviously, here at League of Inches, we are hosting a number of tournaments that are reaching that penultimate stage of the year. We've already crowned a few minor premiers. Draft already crowned a few the minor premiers. A couple of blokes who have gained promotion, and a few, unfortunately, have gained relegation as well. It's been a harsh year. We've got a couple of other results. So we'll do that in our discussion when we go into that. But we've got Jesse, we've got Trav, we've got a full house tonight, and we've got not changes. And when it comes into positions on the Golden Inch competition, but it's definitely getting closer. It is heating up at the right time of year. I, for one, am a nervous wreck. Jesse, how's things, mate? We'll go into the scores in a minute because I've got to start this week, unfortunately. But Jesse, how's things, mate?
Things are all right, man. Things are fine. My Supercoach round of last week was not fine. It's probably one of the worst weeks I've had in ages, but I feel like a lot of people kind of fell into that boat where they were just like, what the fuck happened last week with the scoring? It was just a shit fight. Everything went wrong. I don't know. Even the good captains was like, yeah, sweet. If you captained Walsh or VC'd Walsh, congratulations. Cleary was a pretty good one at 106. Outside of that, it was just shit. Across the board. A 1200 was a fantastic score last week, and you would have saw good green, I would imagine. So I dropped again. 1183 I ended on. Season rank 1787. So creeping back towards that 2K. I can't get away from it. It's just a killer. First time this season, I lost all of my head-to-heads as well. Just unbelievable. And they were close. So a few of them were like within 20 points as well. So a little bit rubbish. But as far as the head-to-head side of things went, obviously those comps are finished now for the standard league. I ended up winning the League of Inches head-to-head free comp. Unfortunately, didn't get the cash comp, but I won the free comp.
One or two?
And I won,
we got two.
Number one.
Ooh.
Number one.
Well
so
done.
took that out. And I won the Creators Cup as well, which is friggin' mad.
You haven't won it yet. You're minor premiers.
Minor prem. Of course, they're all minor stuff at the moment, but I'd love a second trophy to go with the first one. So we're on the right path. But yeah, outside of that, look, the head-to-head side of things last week was a bit rubbish, but it didn't make a difference to any of the results overall. So, yeah, just an overall pretty cruddy week. I did a trade last round. I ended up only doing the one trade. What did I do? Oh God, I'm blanking actually. Yeah, I can't remember what
you
I
got
did.
Yo in, didn't you?
I thought I had Yo the week prior.
Yeah, the week before.
The week before, I was gonna get Dearden in, and I reversed it as soon as Herbie went down. So that actually might have been a nothing week for me. I mustn't have done anything. But either way, I've got two trades, so I don't think I did anything last round, which is good because yeah, Herbie went down. Unfortunately for everyone, sucks. But here we are. Good topic of the pod this week. But that's me. That's my round. One to forget.
I'm glad you got your listening ears on tonight because I just wanted to see how you were. I didn't want to go into numbers yet. I had some more to get into for the intro, and I said I had to go first because I was last this week. That's the order we've always gone in. So you got ahead of yourself.
Sorry, folks.
Nah, you're all right, mate. It's
I'm okay.
It's a Jesse podcast, so take over as you will. So it's okay.
We should actually just stop there and just redo this. Like bloody Jesse, take it over as usual.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I'm happy to restart.
No, we go one take. We're one takers here, guys. So just so you all know out there, if we make mistakes, we don't care. We're human. Some of you out there don't think so, but yeah, we are human. Look, shout out first of all, Caxton Street Brewing Company for sponsoring the show, major sponsor. Really keen to let everyone know about a few of the big upcoming events that we do have next couple of weeks. Still continue to check the social media pages to see there. Legends, obviously, Legend Group, $2.99 per month will know that first. Trav just sent into Casper the Ghost. That was a bit weird. It's just going to be one of those episodes. I feel like it's going to just be one of those. What ET phone home all of a sudden came on there. I'll tell you what. Shout out to Con as well at Freedom Finance Group. Third shout out. Obviously, the League of Interest hoodies is out now as well. So please make sure you check the page or message the page if you would like to order. I timed it horribly, and mine's currently in the wash, so I couldn't put mine on tonight so you can see it. But I promise I'll have it on for tomorrow night's live show. Alrighty. For me, I'm happy to not talk about this round last week whatsoever. 1,100. Jeez, it was a tough one. Yeah, exactly.
Damn.
So it was a tough one. Tough one. I only dropped 450 spots, which I was shocked about. I thought it was going to be a much bigger drop on the weekend. So once again, 2 weeks in a row where I thought the drop was going to be much bigger than it was. So I'm just clinging on at the moment. So 1,382 is my rank. Total score 27,663. Still has me in the top, obviously the 1%, but my main priority right now is to get that Golden Inch Award. And the other two boys are closing in quickly. I'm very, very nervous. No trades last week. Held off. Ended up having to play Riley Smith as well. I'll talk about it a bit more down the track, but now the whole Wade Egan shoulder injury, which all of a sudden has come out of nowhere, has really screwed me when it comes to my hookers. So got a few ideas how to play some things, which I'll discuss later in the show, but not looking great for me. I only won 4 of my. I actually fought 1-4 in my league still last week. But yeah, lost pretty much everything, including draft. Yeah, I won 4. I've got 11.
I've got 1,100. Bloody hell!
Yeah, there was some shockers out there. I must have versed a few guys that were last week who just gave up. So thank you for playing me and letting me have a couple of free wins, basically. Trav, we didn't get to ask you how you were because someone jumped the gun, but that's okay. You can now happily gloat because another cracker of a week from you.
Red hot.
Yeah, that's a few weeks now. I've been climbing the green arrows, but I got 1245. It's given me a season rank of 3,557, and I rose 565 spots. I've got a total score of 27,370. I reckon about 3-4 weeks ago, Joel, you were about 700 points away from me, and I've climbed more than 300. I'm under 300 now away from you. So, yeah, I'm on the way up.
Reminder.
Yeah, I'm on the way up. I've timed it well. Everything's kind of gone to plan mostly until this weekend. Although I had a good score, some players have done a really good job for me. To get what I got on the weekend, I had to bite the bullet. I thought I'd be the first one. I wanted to be the first one to run out of trades. I now have no trades. I had to do. I did the Strange down to Wishart, which gave me almost 300k. And I went Sand and Smith to Cleary, which obviously points wise has been enormous. Wishart got more points than Strange did, and Cleary got 106 as my captain option. So that was brilliant for me. But yeah, I have no trades, and I watched Friday night Herbie pull up a 71. Obviously, that was before down dates for him, and then pop a hammy, and I went, uh-oh, I don't have any trades. I was like, oh no, here I am having to sit 840k on the bench. And then straight after that, Isaiah Yeo pops his shoulder, and I'm like, oh damn, I'm in trouble here. But you know, anyways, as I said a few weeks ago, and then as Joel very politely reminded me last week, I don't care whether I come 3K or 15K, I want to have a crack. So I had a crack, and I have been having a crack. I've been making some interesting calls, a little bit different, trying to steer away from the pack, but making some trades that I wanted to do. I've tried to sort of go a bit off with some of my captains, and VC options and things like that. And whilst obviously I captained Cleary, a lot of people last week VC'd Cleary. So I VC'd earlier just to play around with that. So I'm trying to sort of, it's hard because we have such similar teams. It's hard to go too far away, but I've tried to do a few things and it's worked out for me. I have severely bad thoughts about and vibes around what's going to happen the next 5 weeks with no trades left. And now I'm watching Herbie just sit on the bench and Yo not playing this week, but it is what it is. I've had a crack. I'm having a go. So my team's still good. Like I'll talk about it this week, today, during the pod later on, but I've still got a good team. I've got some good depth, and the guys that I've reserved this week, even with those injuries, whilst I wouldn't have done it if I didn't have the injuries, I'm still happy to have them as reserve. So I'm not too bad, but we'll just see what happens.
Mate, some ballsy calls, which I respect. So it's good to read your messages properly and to discover that you have in fact traded all of your trades. So a little in-joke there that we don't need to share on air, please, because we'll save that one. Thank you.
That's for the legends.
The legends understand that joke.
I'm a bit surprised that out of the three of us, Trav was the first one to run out of trades.
Yeah, I was as well.
I didn't have that on my bingo card. Yeah. I would have thought I would have done
you're all
I've got more trades than
I kind of would.
Exactly right, Joel. That's exactly right. Hey,
because I remember.
Go, because I reckon you're
I
going to
remember you about round 4 or something said on air. People can go back and listen to the episode. You were so passionately saying, "I'll be out of trades by round 20. I'm just going to go hard as."
Yes.
And look at you still holding on as you can to all your trades. At least Trav has gone out and done it.
There's so many things he said, right? He also said he would have no boost by round 6. Did he have?
I think it was round 8. Was it round 6 or 8?
Was it
6 or 8? It was one of the two.
He also said he would. He also said, well, after that, he also said he would use a boost through Origin. Did he use a boost in Origin? No.
I didn't have any by then.
No, because you said when you held it, that you would then hold it for Origin to make it. Jesse.
Oh, because I wanted to use the 4.
Joel,
no, I don't think I made it to then. I think I used it in 11. Either way, I was about 2 weeks early on everything, so shove it up your ass. Here we are.
You owe it to everyone, and you owe it to the viewers, to us on this podcast to sit here with you every week. You need to make both trades this week, and just to make sure you're not last with all trades. So you need to go out on your sword and just ride the last 5 weeks home. Look, for those playing at home, so just a quick update after all of our scores. So I'm in front of Jesse by 71 points, and I'm in front of Trav by 293. So it's getting so close. To see that we're all in this little bubble is actually pretty cool. So I'm very, very keen to see what happens there. Let me just quickly open up our overall league to see who gets the chocolates there. Sorry, was not ready for this one. So Daniel 191.58 is still out in front. He did slip a little bit on the weekend though. So overall his rank is now 24. And his lead got gobbled up a heap. He actually only beat me by 11 points. So he had a really shocking week. Welcome, Daniel, to the Shocking Week Club. Hand in hand with you there. And for the top score, Jake Clutch Kings, 1,485, which got him into below the 1K rank. So well done, mate, out there. Message the page to secure yourself.
Jake's one of our legends, and it was also the 3rd highest score for the overall round. So,
yeah, he's in our draft comp too, Jake. But yeah, the 3rd overall score, highest I've ever seen from someone that we communicate with regularly. So, well done. That's massive on a week like that for a 1485. That's actually absurd. So yeah, props. Huge week and a massive round rank jump too. So yeah, well done.
Make sure you message the page to get your prizes. And obviously, shout out to Pack Lord. You get your $10 break credit as well for the next NRL card break. Anyone else out there who loves their cards, things like that, make sure they do EPL, they do basketball cards, they do it all. They're fantastic. little Facebook group there that is growing rapidly. They do some great giveaways as well, so make sure you check them out. You guys did mention that head-to-head stuff is kicking off the finals for all of us. I believe we're all in majority of them, which is cool. Draft, just a quick shout out. We had our inaugural winner for our draft knockout competition. Our I always forget the name of my
Inch of Glory.
Inch of Glory. There you go.
Inch of Glory Cup.
It's been a
Have
big
you got
day.
it there?
Sorry, guys.
Have you got the cup there?
No, it's inside, getting ready to get posted out to the winner. So Trav against Marcelo was 2 Div 1 players. Trav, did you get the chocolates?
Nah, unfortunately, I had a stinker. I had one of my worst scores for most of the year, actually, but he scored a nice 849, and I got 730. He had a lot of Titans boys, so he was riding that Titans Penrith game on the edge of his seat, and it really came out for him. And at halftime, it wasn't looking good when Brimson and JC were around the 30-40 mark, and then they popped out with over hundreds by the end of the game. So he got a 60 odd from Jolliffe. He had a Garner, got him a few points, got him a lot too. So he had a big game there, and got himself the chocolates and got the win. So it's such as draft, but such is that competition too, because what's funny is that I actually am leading that draft with the most points. I've got 700 more points than he does. I'm third on the ladder, and he didn't even make finals, and yet he's just won the Inch of Glory Cup in a knockout cup. So that's the benefit of having those two different competitions in our one comp.
It's a true FA Cup fashion.
Oh yes, 100%. It was pretty cool. I spoke to him a little bit today. I think. Oh yes, I don't even know when it was, but he sort of made a good point. It's sort of, you've got to win. I think the stages we had, you got to go through undefeated 8 times basically. So it's a pretty big ask. It's a big competition that we do run, and that's an incredible effort when you think about it. Draft teams and all that sort of jazz. Great. Just on that little matchup, we're all watching very eagerly, because I think between both of you, that Penrith Titans game, I think there was about 9 players playing that could decide, obviously, that result. And Jesse went in very early and said, this is the game that will decide it. And he ended up being pretty right with it all. So very keen to see what now finals has to play. And as I said, already prized a few of the minor premiers. And then obviously a few players are dropping down the divisions. Enough of that. Let's get stuck into it. Jesse, talk to us. What is the big talking point this week? I think there's a guy called Herbie Farnworth that we may be talking about.
Herbert Farnworth. Look, it's I actually think it's too soon to even talk about this injury. This one's rattled me. What's a Farnworth? Unfortunately, a Farnworth is worth about 840K
missing 5 weeks.
And that's it. That's what a Farnworth ends up being. So the age-old question, the answer is 840, 700, and that's the end of it. That's all she wrote, folks. So, look, he's out. It was a big hamstring injury.
Is he okay?
Active sadness that swept over the country when that happened. I could feel it in the air. There was tension outside, so it sucked.
Feel it in my palms.
It's just the last player in my side I was hoping to lose, genuinely. But
he was on a screamer as well. He was on a tear.
Oh, he was on 70 points in 10 minutes. I was just like, wow. And even I had him in my other draft. I ended up losing that draft in the last run of the last game by Kennedy. And if I just had Herbie for another 5 minutes, who would have known? But can't dwell on that. So he's gone. Traded out currently by 15,500 people, owned by 71,000 people. The ones that haven't traded him yet, I'm guessing they're out of trades, because there's one right below us. So I don't think he's going to be back by regular season football. If he's back by finals, I hope he is for the Dolphins' sake. But it for those it's a lot of money, man. 840 is the dearest player in Supercoach. If you've got Jules, you can do anything with this, genuinely. So he is basically filled out 1 to 10, the most traded out player, naturally. Everyone else, I guess, you're going to hold on to unless they're injured. So, look, it's as far as it goes. Trade targets. we've pretty much lost all of them as well. Center wing's dire, I think. I think a lot of people are running the same template of center wingers now. Lomax, Carraz, Garrick, Herbie. That was the 4 staples in most people's center wing, 1 to 4. Now he's gone. I suppose another couple of, if you go a few deeper, there's a couple of jewels. Like we lost Lucas, we've lost Kylero, Valentine Holmes isn't an option anymore. Azarko still floating around. Mark has fallen off a cliff. So if you still have him, it's almost like you don't even want to play him as an alternative. Even though a month ago he's banging 70s out pretty consistently, things have shuffled quite a lot. So I honestly, it's a tricky one to try and replace him. He's irreplaceable, I would say. There's no one you're going to replace Herbie with this season to get a similar vein of points. It's just not going to happen. And if you've got multiple trades to go, you're going to make a lot of money going from him and someone else out. But look, I'm just going to go straight to the traded outs. For the top 10%, his most traded target currently is Dane Gagai. Pretty much what this kind of shows me is that everyone already has Lomax, Carraz, Garrick. They're all already owned. The ownership stats show that they are. But for the ones that aren't owned currently, if you're podding it up, which is a perfect opportunity now to go pod for the run home, everyone's doing the same pods for the run home because they're the only ones left. So they're not pods for long. But Gagai, number 1, with not the best matchup on earth on paper, I would say, when you see the Panthers. But I was actually talking to Trav earlier today about this one, and I went back and had a look at some of the Panthers' scores conceded to fullbacks. And Gagai's been playing fullback the last 3 weeks, and he's just killing it too. I think he's averaging about 94 in his last 3 games at fullback, so just unbelievable numbers. But these numbers against the Panthers from fullbacks recently, 117 from Brimson, just gone last week. 57 from Taruva the week before, who was filling in for fullback as well. Alex Johnston, 86. 71 from Iongi the week prior, and 91 from Connor Tracy the week before that. So in the last 5 weeks, the Panthers are conceding on average 84.4 points to fullbacks, which is pretty much like stat leading for the comp at the moment for fullback concessions, as opposed to like someone like the Rabbitohs, you know what I mean? So just conceding to anyone. But yeah, for me anyway, and he's, disclaimer, early crow here, I'm going Gagai myself from Herbie. He looks the best option, genuinely. I think it's a bit of a no-brainer. I don't think there's really too much to overthink. If you didn't have someone like Lomax or a Carraz or any of them, I would be going to them first, just to get them in. It might be worth nullifying a head-to-head comp as well, considering now we're in finals. There's a very good chance your opposition will have 3 of those center wings, more than likely. Safest thing to do if you've got some pods is just to cut the ones that you don't out, the risky plays. But outside of that, I love Gagai. I would go to you, Trav, and say, where are you going from Herbie? But I don't want to twist the blade. So what are your thoughts anyway? Like, where did you, when obviously he went down, you were like, oh shit, I don't have a replacement. But what are your thoughts on the Herbie, man? Like, where would you be going realistically?
Actually, I think we're blessed. Like, in terms of as bad as this is a really a big opportunity for people to make some headway here. And whilst it's only one player, there's lots of, I still think there's lots of opportunities. So Carraz is 95.7% owned in the top 10%. Garrick is 94.6% owned in the top 10%. Lomax is 86.9% owned in the top 10%. So pretty much that's the 3 that everyone owns. Herbie is now currently 53.8%. He's obviously that's obviously going to be a lot lower and go further. And Marky Mark is currently 5th with 52.1% owned in the top 10%. Then there's quite a big drop to the next player that I think is worth it. You've got Fermor at 24. You got Asako at 24. Then you got Gagai at 19.4%. So Gagai is actually, pretty well owned in the top 10%, but there are still 80% of people that don't have him. And I really like that. My favorite option out of anyone at this point in time is, I'm just going to go down to where his statistics are so that I can get it, is I'm just pulling them up. Sorry, guys. There he is. My favourite option right now, based off the fact that I watched him on the weekend play at fullback. Apparently, word is that he's now locked in that fullback. I know he plays the Bulldogs this week, but my favourite option right now is a really big pod play with a dude whose dual play is Mr. Tuapiki. That run that the New Zealand Warriors have got, they have to play him because the Wars are about to lose the top 4. So he has to play. Yep, he's got the Bulldogs this week, but then he plays the Dragons, then he's got the Titans, then he's got Para, then he's got Manly. He plays, obviously, the Bulldogs this weekend. As I've said, that's at a core, so that doesn't help. But I still think him playing 80 at fullback is a big deal. My favourite option as a major pod play is Tuapiki, and he's currently 0.5% owned in the top 10%. That's my number one option. Not sure if you guys agree, but I'm just throwing an outlandish call there, and I actually an outlandish call that I think he's locked that position away, and yeah, I reckon he's in for 70s and 80s throughout this year.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Hey, I really do. I had Topiki. I picked him up just having a look. It would have been round 19, actually, just looking at his stats in one of my draft matchups because I needed a center, and I just threw him in there because he was named. Ended up banging out 104 that week, and it was a monster score. So we kind of know with Topiki as well, like he's a good player. He really is, and we're just waiting for that opportunity. Nickel clock stats in the centers this week?
Yep.
Yep. Any risk of him going back to fullback, Topiki dropping out in the next 5 weeks?
I don't think so.
4
I think
weeks?
it's his. I think the way he played on the weekend, and we all know that we were waiting for this. Like we know that the fullback spot is his. It was just a matter of when. I think it's now happened. I reckon it's about 6 weeks too late. But it's now happened. I reckon he's locked it in. Joel's probably a little bit more into that side of things around than I am, in terms of players locking spots in. But I legitimately think he is a gun, and I legitimately think he's locked that in. And based off the way that he played on the weekend, and yeah, they lost, but they just sure as hell didn't bloody lose because of him. He was great. So I reckon that spot's his, but Joel could probably give a little bit more light.
Joel?
You got me. I love the play. I love Tuapiki as a player. I think he's an absolute gun. My only worry is Andrew Webster and his history with this position. He seems to resort back to the safe option of nickel clock star whenever the going gets tough, and I'm just slightly concerned about that. I think Rocco Berry isn't that far away as well, so that could be. And he seems to always get a center position whenever he is fit, which hasn't been much this year, but whenever he is, he seems to get that spot straight away back. So I'm slightly worried about that play, just because for me, when I do make this Herbie trade, or if I do, that means I've got no more trades left. So if I then get stuck with a Tuapiki who gets in this week, and then for those dream run home, Berry's back, and that means he's Tuapiki goes onto the bench or something crazy, or who knows where he could go. On paper, absolutely love it. And if Andrew Webster has any, I better not say brains because that's a bit disrespectful. He's a very good coach, but if he wants to run, at the moment, I reckon the Warriors won't be making the top 4. So at the moment, they get the almost advantage of throwing caution to the wind and having a play around like this. Leave your young gun in there and see what happens. So that would be awesome for Tuapiki owners who are out there or who are making that trade. Probably more favouring the Gagai play, even though the Knights run isn't ideal. He's shown already in the last few weeks, like he's got 100 against the Storm the other week. So it's been some pretty big scores from Gagai. And he's just one of those players where he just re-signed with the club, and he seems to be really taking that fullback and making it his own at the moment, really leading by example. And I love how busy he is. So I probably like that option the best, but I don't mind the Tuapiki shout either. I'm just a bit nervous.
Yeah, that's kind of the risk with it too. And like, there's every chance that a forward comes back into play, and then they can move Capel back into the centers, which they can then push Nickel Kluckstadt back to fullback.
I
So
hate
there's so
that.
many things. Yeah, there's so many things they can do, which are very possible. But for the sake of it, I really hope Topiki does keep the spot there because yeah, he's fantastic. I think if you're gonna capitalize on the Warriors' good run and a bit more stability, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck
That's
is probably
the
the
next
next best option. Or if not the best option, and Tuapicki's the pod, high risk, high reward play. But RTS has been fantastic recently. I've actually got him in both of my drafts, and I've had him, pretty much all season. And he had a break earlier in the year. He missed a few games with injury, but since he's sort of come back from that, a lot of 70s, a lot of like a high 70s, close to 80s. Highest score of the year so far, an 89, 87. There's a couple of 79, 78s in there. That's kind of where he sort of caps out. But realistically, like shit, if you're getting 70s to 80s out of him, with the run they've got coming and fantastic base, like I like the play. It's just obviously this round in particular, the matchups for these center wingers aren't great. Like it's kind of fallen on a bad week for a lot of the guys that are available and fit and ready to be traded in. RTS plays the Dogs, Gagai plays the Panthers. It's like, these on pretty much on paper, if you've got everybody else, like if I didn't, I'd be getting Lomax in instantly this week because of the best matchup of the round, basically. But there's a few things there for the rest of them. I reckon what we saw last week and how many points the Tigers, Supercoach points the Tigers put on the Dogs, there's every chance that they can do it again. But I would expect a sort of a bit of a response game from the Dogs after that. So if it's something you can hold off on, get him in next week for the Dragons, Titans, Eels, like you mentioned, and then ending on Manly. Shit. Like there's a lot of good players out of the Warriors at the moment, but even forwards, Halasima, a couple of these other guys too, like they're in really good form. It's like they're a really good team to target, to be fair. So there's a few there as well.
Is there a realistic option to hold Farnworth for a week then? If you're saying there's not many great options that stand out, hold him for a week, hold on to that trade, the cash, and then pick your target next week if you're worried about points. Like for me, I've got Asako and Marky Mark. Obviously, Dolphins play the Roosters this week. I reckon one of them will score decently. It's about picking the right one, and probably going off my luck the last 2 weeks, I'll pick the wrong one. But there is a little thought in my head about picking the run a little bit more and maybe waiting one more week. As I said, it is my last trade, so it's a big play. Even though Gagai has shown he has scored really well, and I don't really doubt that he will score good again. Just thinking out there, but another sort of suggestion for Herbie owners.
I suppose if it's your last trade and he's the guy that you want now, like what difference does it make getting him now or next week? Unless you want to wait a week, let the not ideal fixture pass, and then assess your options next week. You know what I mean? Like, and then you can sort of lay them all out and go, now everyone has a really good option, and I still have a trade. You essentially have unlimited funds with Herbie at the moment because everyone is cheaper than him. So you can do anything you want. You can go to any player you want. It's not about cash loss or growth or a break even. You've got one trade left, and it's the most expensive player in the game out. So it's like, pick whoever you want because you're going to commit to them from this point forward. If the matchup's not fantastic, if you think RTS has the best run from now to the end of the season, get him now. Unless there's a chance, everyone's got a chance to get injured at any given week. That's the risk that you take just playing a contact sport. But you're not going to hesitate and wait for the week after because he might get injured this week. Like you just have to rip the Band-Aid off and go, he's the guy I want for the run home. Identify it and trade him. If Gagai's the guy you want for the run home, and that's the way you want to look at it. They got the Cows, the Broncos, Sharks, and then ending on the Eels. Their run's not as ideal as RTS essentially, but exactly what you said before about him putting the big score on the Storm. It's like Gagai is always going to put up in the centers even a 70, a 75, and that's why we always talk about how consistent he is where he is. Now he's playing fullback, not even goal kicking, and he's adding 30 points to his already insane average. It's like, this is some serious numbers. And for me, that's the direction I'll be taking from Herbie, going straight to him. If you wanted to wait a week and get past the Panthers game, Mike, I don't blame you for it. It's not a fun one. And if you've got, if you're
he's kicking, isn't he?
I don't think he's goal kicking.
Yeah, he kicked the other last week, the week before.
Oh, fantastic! How good's that?
I was going to say, I just thought in my head then, I was like, hang on, he was goal kicking the other day, so that makes it even more appealing.
Well, that's the thing. There's more appeal there, but how many points are they going to put on Penrith? Look, realistically, Gagai does all the work anyway. He can do anything. But if you're hesitant on that type of matchup and you're sitting someone like Azarko or Mark or a playable player, like a really good option, the reason why you have them in your team, they've scored well for you in the past. It's just recently, some of these games might be a little bit lower. Play them. Play them, sit on it, let the dust settle, see if there's something more pressing that comes up. You've lost your hooker. Now you're going to have to AE every single week. Am I right? No, you've got Riley Smith.
Me? No, I've got
Yeah.
Riley Smith. So this will
Yep.
come up in my trade talk, but so I'll try not to tackle it yet. But yeah, I've got a headache with what to do with this last trade, which I'm going to pick your brain about shortly.
Yeah, so that's the kind of way that I'd sort of be looking at it too. Like I'm sitting on my one trade remaining after getting Gagai in, and I could trade someone. Like I really want to go for like a Jaden Campbell this week against the Rabbitohs or a Brimson or something in that position because their matchup is really nice. But second match last week, Herbie goes down. People have already traded Storm players in or whatever, and now you're locked, and now you can't do anything with it, which is exactly what happened to Trav. So business end with limited trades, if you can field a full team and it looks all right, it might be worth holding on and seeing where where the chips fall. But if you just want to use your last trade up, like some people will, and I'm getting close to it, chase the upside, like end on a high, like go for the big points. But the problem is the big points matchups aren't here this round for some of the big center wingers. But yeah, you can just sort of reassess next round if you want to play that way. If going back to a week or two, Joel, if we did the same thing with Haas, things might be a little bit different. So, but he's back this week. So
Move on.
can't do a lot.
Stop. I don't talk about it. Don't bring that name up. Do not bring that name up.
Trav, you have a point there, man. You look like you're about to say something.
There's a couple. There's a couple of dudes that or players I really like that I think we could talk about just briefly. But I also just want to quickly touch on the fact that a lot of us are blessed and have been blessed for most of the year around having duels in different spots. And hooker 2RF duels, hooker halfback duels, and all sorts. 5'8" center wings, center wing fullbacks. Like there's a lot of duels out there that we've been able to play with. Herbie out this week, obviously, and was very highly owned. If you can be a bit creative, trade him out, go to your sub out option and see what duels you've got that you can play around with to be even more creative to try and fill another spot. There are lots of, I've actually had a conversation with one today, funny enough, Jesse, that who didn't quite understand the duels and was like, oh, I'm going to trade Herbie, but I got no 2RF duel. But then I was looking and I was like, well, actually you do. You've got hooker into here and you've got him to go to the center wing and you can get your hooker that you want because you've got all these different duels. And he's like, well, I thought I could only sub once. I'm like, dude, you could sub from hooker to front row forward, from front row forward to 2RF. 2RF, you could do 20 subs all the way through until you get to where you want it to be. And he only thought he could only make the one sub. So like here we are 5 weeks out with someone unaware of that. They actually can make multiple subs and multiple duels and use that. So there is also that opportunity. So don't be afraid to just literally put the trade on him, go to your sub out option, and then just go anyone that's got an S, start to play with it and make some of those trades and make some of those subs.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good point because there's been some people of late as well trading out to Nuffs that have really nice duels. Like I went to Kalani Going because he had a 2RF hooker duel. And for example, like with Herbie, I can go Herbie out. I can move Kane Bradley down into the center wing, and I can move Going into my 2RF, and I can get like Braden. It's going to get clipped, that one. Jaden, Blake Brayley.
I did it
clip
twice.
it. Boys, clip it.
Break Bailey.
Break Bailey. Yeah, there you go. There's one for you, Savs. So like things like that, you can shuffle around. Like you can be real creative. If you've got some sort of way to get, I don't know, even like a Savala in your 2RF or someone in your hooker, and you're able to go like Herbie into Cleary would be a very creative one. It'd be quite an unusual lot of duels that you'd have, but like there's options. There's definitely things you can do. As far as the rest of the options, sorry.
There's two players I wouldn't mind touching on that I think you guys can really touch and delve in deeply. I really like. And although they have a bye coming up, and I get it, but he's been on a tear, and I think he's ready to continue going with the draw that they've got. Although they play the Bulldogs in 27, but I'm not so concerned about that. I'm very eager to look at and watch what Ronaldo Militalo's been doing. And he's got that buy in 25, which is a little annoying. But even though we're down on trades, we've actually got 6-7 dudes in our centers, and we've got pretty good depth. You can deal with that. I just think against the Dragons this week, against the Titans in the week after that, against Newcastle in 26, and I even think in against the Bulldogs in 27, because I think that round for the Bulldogs might be, just a rest round for them with how I think they're going. I think Mulatalo's in because the Sharks are still fighting for position. So I really like what Mulatalo is going to be able to put up. I think in the next 4 weeks, on the back of a 98 against the Cowboys, 91 against South, 54 against the Roosters, and 54 against the Dolphins, I just think he's warming up for a big finish. So I really like Ronaldo Mulatalo. I'll touch on the next one in a sec if you want to touch on him.
Yeah, well, when me and Joel did the pod, he was my center wing of choice for pods as far as they went. His ownership is still super low. As far as an overall ownership goes, he's owned by 5% out of everyone that plays.
7.4 in the 10%.
7.4 in the top 10 is nothing, especially with a fixture run like that for what Mulatalo can do. But again, you know what Mulatalo can do. He can go really low. He can also go really big, and he's on his really big run at the moment, which is good. Last 2 games over 90. Next 2 fixtures, very, very friendly for him. Yeah, I love it. I really do. I think he can go gangbusters in the next 2 weeks. The bye does suck a bit if you are relying on that position for that round. And I mentioned it in the pod too, how much investment you have in Sharks players, especially coming into that. And if you are a head-to-head focused player at the same time, having a Brayley or a Fanua Blake, Nakora, Hines, these sort of dudes, as far as they go, I don't think there's anyone else really that's super highly owned. To add Mulatalo into that, and then to lose potentially 3-4 Sharks players, because 3 is pretty common, I think, in a lot of sides at the moment, between Hines at least, Nakora, Fanua Blake. I've seen that a lot. Adding a 4th is a lot. To then lose them all for a major head-to-head final, plus the injuries, plus the nuffs and everything else that's happening. That's where I'd try and steer away. If that isn't how your team lines up, and your Hines in is the only Shark you've got, your coverage is fine, whatever else is going on, I really like it. I think you can get some massive ground made up with that, because he's on a strong wing, and they're the teams you want to hit at this point of the year too. So very, very good shout.
Joel?
Nothing to add.
Fair point.
Cool.
Who else you got?
The next one is Mr. Alexander Brimson.
Yeah.
After watching what he's been able to do, and if I have a look, since round 10, he's put 102, 54, 59, 84, 53, 95, 45, and in the last 3 weeks, Tigers 71, New Zealand 63, Penrith 117. Has the Rabbitohs this week, has the Sharks, plays the Warriors, plays the Dolphins, plays the Tigers. I don't mind the run. It's not the best run, but I don't mind that. It's Alexander Brimson. They're fighting to not play or not get the wooden spoon. Desi's fighting for his job, although we all think he's lost it, but he's still fighting for it. So I think unless the only thing that's going to stop Alexander Brimson from playing fullback is an injury. Otherwise, I really like it. And I've read today, I don't know how I read it, I don't know what I've done, but I've been told at some point, maybe it was someone that messaged me or something, that Brimson loves an end of season and making a run in the end of season. So I like the Alexander Brimson shout. And what you'll find, and there'll be people out there, I mean, you could simply just go and get Brian Toto. Like, there's pedigree there. We all know who Brian Toto is. Their draw is not good in terms of their competition. They've got a tough next 3 weeks after this one. They got Newcastle this week. Then they got Melbourne Raiders, Bulldogs. Then they've got the Dragons in the last round. He's 486. I mean, it's the pedigree of Brian Toto is what it is. Okay, you can go and get that. What I'm trying to sort of throw out is some really high upside guys, but also have form at the moment. but also have the role or have a new role that I like that I can run through the rest of the year. So I'm just trying to throw some names up there that can make and break what you got to do and could really make a difference. And if you've got the kahunas to go and do it, there's your opportunity to not make just 500 spots. Here's an opportunity to really make a dent on your ranks and make a dent in your head-to-heads. So that's why I've pulled some of these guys up. But if you want to play a safe option, get Toto at 486. But I'm just trying to throw a few ones. So Alexander Brimson is the guy I want to end on.
Yep. So
486.
Yeah,
Yep.
he dropped last week. He didn't do anything last week.
He dropped
had
another 30K. He's dropped
he had
200K.
Stay there.
You know what?
Stay there for next year. He'd be my first player I get.
He's going to be ripe for the picking next year. I can't wait for that.
Oh.
Him with the center wing of Latrell Mitchell and Tom Trebojevic. Oh, yes, please. Lock it in,
He's,
mate.
he's currently averaging 57.9.
Brimson?
No, Toto.
Okay.
57. Oh, wow. It's that early game, isn't it, in the season that really boosted that up. 57 is going to be 570 odd K. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. He might drop between now and then. I like Brimson, man. He's got the best matchup for an individual player this week out of anyone else across the field. So, fullbacks against the Rabbitohs, grandmothers with wheelchairs against the Rabbitohs come second closely. 4-year-old children, learning how to ride a push bike.
Hey, Rabbitohs fans, can you please message Joel, not me? I just don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, it's me. I'll put it's me. Not these two.
Can't even say it.
Look, you got nothing left really at this point in time. So yeah, it's just unideal for the Rabbitohs. You love the season to end. This is a good matchup for Brimson in particular. So what I like about him is really everything. Brimson's fantastic. The form is good. The form is really good, and they're fighting for a lot at the moment. I think Des is retiring, isn't he? Isn't that what's happening at the end of the season? Isn't he done?
No one knows. It's very
nothing yet. There's nothing official.
Okay, well, he's got something to play for. The thing that does concern me is the Keeney talk that's been getting about. He's coming back in Q Cup this week, so there's every chance if you trade Brimson in this week, Keeney's back in next week, and then what happens? We were talking about where do these four guys line up for the whole year, because there's not a spot for everyone. But as far as it goes for the now, I think he's great, and I think you can definitely make some ground up with him. And the duel is handy too. The 5'8" center wing. If you've got duels, you can move around. I've got one in Purdue in my 5'8", so there's a lot of people that have him. His ownership in the 10 at the moment is 11%. In the 1%, it is 12.4. So there's a few people. It's still like he's 90% not owned. There's definitely a lot you can do with that. And for your earlier point about him going ballistic at the end of the season, last season he didn't really play from round 10 onwards. 23 was a bit the same, actually. He ended the season with an 85, a 69, and a 61. It was 2022. And I remember it because he won me a draft as well in the finals. But basically, when he decided to turn it on, he went from 67 in round 21 to 111, 82, 139, and a 90 to end the year. So he does have a bit of like end of season sort of push and form to him, but I like it a lot. I think it's just there's a little bit of question marks around Keeney, and does Brimson shift out? Does he go out to the centers? I know obviously they've lost Sammy for the week. They're plugging holes at the moment. Can Brimson be that hole plug? Does Keeney come back in? That's a play that I'd wait a week on, but at the same time, it's like you don't want to miss this matchup. Because this is the one to target. You can target the Rabbitohs every week. You pretty much would, but yeah, very good options, man. Is there anyone else on your list, a short list?
No, I mean not really. I mean there's Marjus, there's your Bradman Best. I think there's guys out there that you can have as safe plays that you're going to get. I've just, as I said, I've just put people up that I think have the run, have the form, a good price, have a good run moving up, coming up, and a little bit of a different mind frame that from what I've had for most of the year.
Yeah. There is one other player in the list, because we're actually going through the players that we are mentioning at the moment. We're pretty much chipping away at the most traded in list for him. So in the top 10%, Gagai was number 1. Zach Lomax is number 2. Don't need to say much about him. Jaden Campbell was number 3 in the top 10% for a Herbie replacement directly. Currently at 6.4% of that one. Oh, look, Campbell far out. Like he's flying again as well. He's doing really well. I don't think he has to watch out for Keeney's return at all. I don't think Brimson pushes into the halves. Maybe foreign drops, but Campbell seems to be the only one that's. Well, I don't know actually, because he's off contract at the end of the year, isn't he?
There's rumours he's getting shopped at the moment, but
Yeah.
he'll stay in the team at the moment for sure.
Yeah, I don't think they can just drop him because of that one. But Aaron Clark is number 5, which would probably just be a dual replacement, making up for probably Yo being out and a couple of other forwards that are missing out, Jules replacements. RTS number 6, Mulatalo number 7, Bo Fermal's number 8. I would be probably chasing a bit more upside personally out of Bo Fermal. Just at this point of the year, trying to make a rush. You're replacing Herbie, you know what I mean? Like, you're not replacing just any old 600k center wing. Like, this guy's been the top dog for most of the season. You want someone that's going to hit you big strides. Hudson Young is number 9 and Carrigan's number 10. So there was a center wing that I was seeing a couple of people talking about, and I really, really like him, again, in my draft side. Matt Tomoko. So last 2 weeks, ballistic, friggin' huge. He's gone 134 and a 111 or something like that. The only problem is with Tomoko, unfortunately, is that he plays Manly this week, which is a fine matchup for him. He's on a bye next week, and then he plays the Panthers. And it's just like, that's not really what you want to be getting in right now for that sort of position. To be fair, though, the last 2 games are the Tigers and the Dolphins. So it could be a really nice run home. I like to play a little bit, just because it's going to be like super pod numbers. But Tomoko does this all the time. He'll have a stretch of quiet and a stretch of really, really big. And then when you jump on, you kind of miss the boat. So I wouldn't say avoid. I would just say kind of just think about your next matchup, because you lose him next week. It's like if you're struggling for numbers now, you'll be struggling next round too. So especially with Raiders players out. But that kind of rounds out the top 10 in and outs, man. It's all Herbie at the moment. Everything's Herbie. If you have multiple trades, Karapani's being traded out. People are still trading out Tino. People are still trading out Jerome Hughes, getting some Cleary stuff in. So, yeah, there's a few things. It's the same stuff we've kind of seen for the last 3 weeks, thereabouts anyway, except we're having to actually, you know what? It's almost like every trade for the last 3 months has been a forced move. There's been very little tactical changes. You're not trading a guy out because he's peaked and you're jumping on the next guy. You're only trading out these guns that are getting injured and then trying to scrounge around for the replacement because everyone else is gone. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the trades. I'm just going to duck off for a sec. I need to get a drink. Sorry.
He's gone. He's spoken too much, Jesse, once again. But I do agree with everything that he said. So I think it's pretty straightforward. I feel like that's pretty much all we have to talk about when it comes to it. It's Herbie, and that's basically the trade out and going from there, Trav.
Absolutely. Yep. When most of us don't have too many trades left. So it's just about what we do and how we can do it and how we can be creative. All I can say to people is, look, base off your team, have a look at it, see what you've got. If you've got jewels, play around with it, see how far you can take those jewels. But I'm really suggesting my team's very similar to you boys. There's only like 3 or 4 differences I've got, but I'm moving up the ranks, and it's more so because of a couple of these pods that I've made and a couple of the captain choices. I just can't suggest to people anymore to just have a bit of a think. You've got an opportunity here to really play it out here and see what you can do. And as Joel loves to say, if you're not first, you're last. So have a crack, enjoy it. Like at the end of the day, I'm either gonna say, hey guys, I'm at 1K and awesome, great. I might get a pair of socks, or I'm at 15K. It makes no freaking difference whether I'm at 1 or 15K. Really, I've had a bit of fun. I've made some plays. I've had a try. And that's all I can say to people is enjoy the last 5 weeks, because holy crap, we've only got 5 bloody weeks left.
It's almost done.
Yep. Enjoy.
Sorry about that
Jesse,
too.
what's next? You're all right.
Unexpected.
What's next? Move us on.
Move us on. Look,
own
our
trade.
trades. Trav. Bow.
I got nothing.
Joel, lay it on us. Well, I'm curious what your predicament is this round.
Well, the stock standard trade would literally just be in the boring one to just bore everyone to death. We've already spoken about it, but Herbie Farnworth out, Gagai in, which I did mention in the Legends group was what I had my on when it first happened. I've got a problem though. I've got a guy called Wade Egan, which I was spoken into getting, and I fell for the trap. So well done, Jesse. You sabotaged me.
I didn't say that.
No, I didn't say
I would have told
you.
you
That
not
wasn't.
to.
That wasn't you. So I fell into a trap, and I've done Egan before, and I've been hurt exactly the same way by him just getting injured, and out he goes, and he's done it again after going through all year basically unscratched. I've also got a Riley Smith problem in my hooker, so I'm basically hookerless because Riley Smith's going to get me 30 a week, if that. So I'm in two minds about what to do at the moment. I could trade out Riley Smith to enough and ride that wave out for the rest of the year. I've got, apart from Herbie, I've got Marky
Joel,
Mark.
how many trades do you have?
One.
You've only got one.
Oh,
I've only got one, so that's my problem. Because if I had two, I'd be laughing. Herbie down to someone, free up enough cash, get a decent hooker in, sail into the sunset, give me the golden inch, and see you later, boys. Ta-da! Instead, I'm where I am, where a sword's about to go up my rectum, and I'm going to be sitting on it for the next 5 weeks. So it's going to be very enjoyable.
Can I comfortably say don't with one trade, nuff Riley Smith? Don't use
don't trade your hookers.
There's
no point.
Unless you're gonna go from Wade Egan to Break Bailey or something like that. I wouldn't bother.
Please tell me that was intentional.
Yeah, it's always now.
Absolutely not, eh? Don't do it. It's not worth it. You're gonna try and get yourself an extra 20 points out of a hooker position, which just sucks. Instead, you have the
downgrading
opportunity.
my hooker. So then I just nuff it, so I don't get a hooker any week now, and I'll get my lowest score, my lowest non-scoring player, which at the moment
will be Riley Smith anyway.
A little bit. No, because I'm going to trade him out.
No,
because Wade Egan's not playing.
What I would suggest to you, and I think I told you last week, is leave Wade Egan in your starting side and use him as your VC loop. Worst case, Riley Smith is the AE anyway, so it doesn't make a difference for you. Chase the upside, get Herbie out, get someone big, leave Wade Egan as your hooker if you want to, and give yourself the crack for a VC any given week. And the AE will come in. There's a good chance it's going to be Riley Smith, and he'll flex out.
But what he's trying to do is avoid that, because obviously everyone else that you've got as an AE is more than likely getting a much better score. So what you're trying to do is avoid the shitty Riley Smith score, opposed to being able to get all the really good scores that you've got sitting on your bench.
Yeah, I just think you're not going to nuff out a hooker spot to eliminate a bad AE, which is going to flex out while sitting someone 840k and not replacing them.
Yeah. I see what you're doing, Joel. I really do. And it has merit, and I understand, but and I get it, because obviously you just don't want to play with that AE nightmare, and you're going to have to have an AE nightmare when you're playing literally with 17 players instead of 18 like everyone else, and having that flex option. And it's actually a really good point, and it's something that I've not heard about before at all. I don't think I've heard any other content creators or any of us even talk about it. So it's a really good point, Joel. However, I would much rather not bother wasting that trade to nuff out, so that I could hope to get 40, 50 or 60 from my other guys, and get Farnworth out and maybe get 80, 90 or 100 from them.
If you had two trades,
I'd be trading Herbie.
I'd be trading Herbie right now. Yeah, I just don't think you make enough ground eliminating your worst score.
Well, if I do that, I'd be going to Gagai to be boring, but
I don't think that's
boring at all.
It's not boring. He's only 11. He's 19%.
I'm still tinkering with the idea of going back to my own, not discussing things, and going and falling on my sword. But we'll see. I'll let legends know short in the next couple of days what I decide to do. So
I don't think Gagai's a boring play at all. I wish I did it earlier.
I mean boring because I spent 40 minutes talking about it, so everyone knows by now we're going Gagai pretty much. So
yeah, but like that's he's looks good. He's got the numbers. He's got the, like, as far as the Panthers go, they concede to fullbacks. He's killing it at fullback. He's always a good option, man. Like, it's the opportunity that was sort of forced upon us, and he's the guy that I've been like waiting for a reason to get. So
I'm going to be honest. I actually kind of want you to do that trade for Riley Smith because I just want to see how it plays out. Not because I'm keen to see you fail, not because I'm keen to see any of that. I just want to see how it plays out because it's the first year that we've had. It's the first year that we've actually had this flex option, and this is a whole different possibility. And I'm actually, Joel, I'm keen. Do as you please, but I'm actually keen to just see how it pans out over the next 5 weeks and what happens and how many points you actually make. So let's say let's for instance you say you don't make the Farnworth to Gagai trade over the 5 weeks. Let's see how many points Gagai scores and accumulates. And then over the 5 weeks, see how much that AE comes in and what they score. And I'd be very keen to see the difference and what the plus minus is on that. That would be really cool. It would be good to see.
if you had only fit 18 players with both your hookers nuffed out, you're essentially you're getting that score though. Like,
but
you know exactly your hookers. Yeah, that's what I mean.
He's only got 17
relevant.
other players. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, you eliminate the 2 hooker scores and you just get the other guy. Like, imagine if everyone was also gone, they were all gone, and the only other player that you're going to get is a Zarko. And you're like, oh, okay, well, I'm replacing my hooker every week with a Zarko.
But he's not.
No, but
he's got 17.
So just 17.
He will only have 17 because he's nuffing out that hooker spot with the 2 players. So he now doesn't have that 18th. He's now only got 17 plus his AEs.
Oh, that's horrible.
I'd
be curious to
someone
see.
like you
I'd be
who loves
curious to
his
see.
maths and loves his numbers. But yeah, I don't know. I've said my piece. I've told you what my preference is, but to be honest, I actually do like it, and I have told you I like the merit of it. I know what you're doing, and I know what I'm just really keen to see if you actually do it. I want to do the maths because if you're going to say that I'm locking in, I would have locked in Herbie to Gagai. Let's do the maths. How many points does Gagai make, and then how many points does he lose when he gets his AI? And let's see the difference and see whether that works. I'm very keen to see that. That's a really cool content idea.
Yeah, it is actually it's interesting. It is.
The one thing I'll say on it, which makes me extremely nervous, is the fact I've got Jed Stewart and his 12 last week makes me scared.
Yeah,
but in saying that, he played it in a swamp, so I'm happy to let those scores last week slide because basically they slid everywhere. So it's
But the Raiders also have a bye too in 24, so like he's not going to play as many games, so it's not as big a problem.
Yeah, the conditions suck for that game. Like, the weeks before that, he scored 50. The week before was 103. I think he's better than that 13 or 12 that he scored anyway. It's just in those conditions, like, what do you expect? But yeah, Manly, bye, Penrith, Tigers could do
well. What are you doing, Jesse?
He's getting rid of both his trades.
Yeah, I'm getting rid of both my trades. I'll go Herbie to Gagai, and I'll go.
He doesn't want to make that extra trade.
I don't want to make the extra trade. I really don't. I've been tossing up a few ideas with it too. Like,
talk.
No,
how good? Like, can I just play the challenge out now for content? Why don't we all just get rid of our trades this weekend? We all just ride the last 5 weeks. I know you have, but I'm just saying, by the end of this weekend, all of us have 0 trades to go, which I think will be cool in itself. It's literally going to be survival of the fittest. Now, we've got probably majority of our teams are the same, so it's going to be between like 4 or 5 players each time. So I think that'd be a pretty cool way to go out.
And to be fair, Joel, are you going to win this competition? Jesse, are you going to win Supercoach? No. Are you going to win Supercoach? No. Jesse, are you going to win Supercoach?
No, not this year.
No. So it's really just us. And content and creating and helping some from advice.
Let us in the comments. If we get over 5 comments that say, Jesse, use your trades, just literally type that into YouTube or the podcast chat. We get 5. We'll do it. Well, I'll say it right now. I'm making an executive decision. We will all have 0 trades by this weekend. So
Jesse,
if you want to do that, if
Joel's
you
your
want to
new
force
manager.
the trades, yeah, exactly, manages my side. If you want to force my trades and make me use my last one for no particular reason, yeah, comment who you would like me to trade to, and I'll consider it. Because the options that I'm looking at, these are the ones that I actually had on paper for. Jed Stewart to Tuivasa Sheck. Can do that. Leaves me 28k to carry in there with next season's interest.
With Farnworth to Gagai, yeah?
With Farnworth to Gagai, yeah, he funds quite a lot doing that. I can go
Shit.
Tino to Blake Brayley and move Connor Watson into my 2RF. So that's another one that's on the cards. I can go Purdue to Jaden Campbell as well. And I can also go Purdue to Dearden, little sideways. But the Cows run's not too bad. Not too bad. Plus Clifford's back in the side, so the Dearden train's, still rolling pretty well. So yeah, there was some options that I could do, and it's basically just using up the 300 odd K that's freed up, or 230 I think it is, going from Herbie to Gagai with what I've got in the bank. But yeah, there's things I can fund. Like I can definitely do I can do a lot with this money, and I've got Jules. I can turn Jed into a hooker if I want to. So it's quite easy. But yeah, that's the thing. Like I've got the coin at the moment before using my second trade, my final trade. I've got 230 in the bank and enough jewels everywhere. But currently looking at my side, like every single one of them's got a red dot. The only two players that are actually fit that I'm not selecting this week are Jed and Purdue. So yeah, going May, Simpkins, Yo, Tino, Bradley, all out of the side currently. So
let us know in the comments, guys. Get commenting. 5 comments. Jesse, use your trades. Gornskis will all be gone.
done.
How good.
I'll do it. I'll lock it in. I'll lock something in. It'll probably be an RTS trade because I really want to do it. Probably on my cards next week. So why not? Hey, that's what I said earlier. Why not?
Go to the bank.
Captains and vice captains, lads. What are we thinking?
All right. So at the
It's a
moment,
weird
I can
week.
go first. At the moment, I'm on VC Cleary, Captain Campbell, but JC. Sorry, I mean Captain JC. I do, however, I am kind of tempted just to literally see Cleary and just ride it.
Yeah, I'm on that train, so which means I've got to pick someone from the first game, and I'll be VCing Cameron Munster with the C on Cleary.
Yeah,
To be fair, just quickly on that, I know the Broncos had a massive win, but I haven't been that sold on their defense as of late. So I actually do think the Storm, can score a few points on the Broncos and give them a bit of a wake-up call after watching some of their post-try celebrations last week against a depleted South team. Thought it was a little bit up themselves. So I actually kind of, in the back of my mind, as much as it pains me to say, I actually hope the Storm give them a bit of a lesson. So Munster, VC.
Yeah, I think when it comes to Cleary captain, it's you got to VC someone from Melbourne. Munster's the best option, so I'm looking at the same. If I was to get JC in, which I was tabling up earlier, I was going to go VC Cleary into a C Campbell as well. I really like Lomax's matchup, but I don't like that it's the last game of the round. Yeah, I was considering a VC Cleary and then just letting the week ride and kind of seeing how things fell from there. But yeah, look, Nico Hines against the Dragons too. That is traditionally just an absolute freaking belter for him. Last time I did captain him for that the Sharks Dragons game, and I think he scored 50. Where traditionally in the past I think he averages something like 120 against the Dragons across the last 5 years. So that on paper does look like one of the best captain options this week. Funnily enough, it's not really in the list of major captains. He's in the top 10%. It's Nico Hines is a 4.5% captain, 7.5% VC. So it's near nothing. For you just go back and have a look at every score that Nico Hines has put on the Dragons. Like every single one of them, barring one, is like over 120.
Time of the weekend, I reckon, is impacting that.
Yeah,
because Cleary's playing so early. So.
Well, that's the thing. Like Cleary plays on Friday, first game 6 p.m. Hines is 3 p.m. Saturday. So if you've got, and it'd be nice if you had a three halfback position with one of those guys in your flex, then you can VC and see both of them. But now with Hughes gone, there's very few people getting in halves. So yeah, you pick them one or the other. I think just for the role, I'm going Cleary. For the upside, Hines has got a great one, but it needs to be a Hines game for that to happen. So, yeah. This
I
stage,
just don't
VC
like.
Munster, C
I
Cleary.
like what I watched. I liked the Dragons and what I watched on the weekend against the Raiders. I loved the way they played. I loved defensively what they did. I get that it was a torrential rain and it was a bog show, and I understand how that's changed. But I just like the way that they went about it. I don't like what I saw from the Sharks in the second half on the weekend. And I think the Dragons are going to make this a dogfight. And whilst I'm a happy owner, I'm happy with I'm a happy Hines owner for a 60 or 70. I just think that's where he's going to sit. And so I don't like that. I don't like him as a VC key. C.
Yeah, so look, when it comes to Hines, I said it in round 15 as well. I did captain round 15. He scored 57. It was horrible. Every other game before that he's played against the Dragons, 97, 156, 180, 112, 124.
Oh, he's got the pedigree around what it is.
Even
I just
with
think
the
the Dragons,
57,
based off what I saw last week.
Yeah. I would never ever ride one performance from last week into the next with the Dragons, especially in that weather. Personally. But it's a big one for the Dragons too. Like they're in Cogra. This is a big match for both of them. So it just depends on the weather. But wet hair Nico, like I would take wet hair Nico over wet performance Dragons. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm roasting a lot of clubs tonight.
Yeah, you are.
Sorry,
but
guys.
which is funny because you don't even watch it. So it's yeah.
Yeah, every now and then.
I feel like you're speaking very fast in stages as well. It's hard to keep up with you. But
Oh.
I just want to put it out there as well so I can say
Probably the
and come
Wi-Fi.
back next week when it's right. I'm kind of, call me crazy, I'm kind of feeling a Tedesco play as well. I'm
Ooh,
feeling he's been
he's
very
gotta do
quiet.
something.
So
He has to do
I just
something.
feel like this could be the week. Suncorp Stadium. It's a massive game. It's a 4-point swing game, obviously versus the Dolphins. I was really impressed with what I've seen from the Roosters on the weekend, and Tedesco was still really quiet. So there's a little bit of me thinking, you know what, Tedesco, for those out there that don't want to go with the crowd, we're just trying to toss out some ideas. Something about Teddy that's drawing me in at the moment.
Yeah, I like it. I did have a C on Teddy, VC Cleary, until I saw Campbell and the Rabbits and went, hang on, I can't skip that. But I do like it. Teddy has to do something. He hasn't done anything for so long. It's time. He's due. I like the shout out.
And just on that, if you are going to the game, please go and make sure you check out Caxton Street Brewing Company, top of the street there at Caxton. Go get yourself a couple of beers, bite to eat before the game. Fantastic drop. Maybe sneak yourself in a couple more as well. You'll really enjoy them. And then let them know we sent you out there, and then go down and enjoy a great game of football.
Yeah, well, last time Teddy played the Dolphins actually at Magic Round, wasn't it?
Yep.
Oh, we're all riding it. That was brilliant.
Yeah, it was a good
that
one.
Was when
so,
you weren't watching the game.
Well, I was watching my points go up because
that was literally the only time he sat down next to us.
Yeah, it was actually, wasn't it? And I celebrated a Herbie try too. He scored 130 points. So, yeah, he can definitely do it. His downturn of form coincides exactly with the return of Sam Walker. So I'm not looking forward to seeing how anyone in that side performs when the Sam Walker show is on. Because, yeah, he's seemingly sucking the Supercoach life points out of every single Rooster except himself. He's just hoarding them all. So approach with caution, I think, while Sam Walker's still fit in the side. Even Teddy's not immune. Yep. Cool. Alrighty.
Who are you reserving quickly?
Oh, yes. So my sit and starts, look, I've only got two other ones that I'm not playing this week. I have the reserve on Tedesco, Marky Mark, Azarko, and Nico. Purdue is getting sat, and Jed Stewart is getting sat. So everyone else is either enough, injured, or not playing. So makes it easy.
I've got the resi on Drinkwater, but that's because Teddy's on the ground as I did originally play with the captain on him. Marky Mark, I've got Wishart and I've got Hines because unfortunately I'm got no trade. So the injury to Herbie and the injury to Yo this week with the Terrell May bye has cost me. So Stewart and the Gashevsky are sitting, who have been benched and not played.
Sweet.
I won't be playing Stewart, Nwanganitawasi, Asako, Geimer. and Riley Smith. Shout out to you, brother. And I'll have the reserves on Drinky Burton against a depleted Warriors side on this Sunday. I don't mind that. Nico Hines, Wet Hair Nico, and Nakora, who I'm hoping after a week back from a head knock, now he's got his second week. He can hopefully get a couple of tries there against the Dragons, who did show some fight on the weekend.
Oh, you got some depth, man. Fit depth too.
Yeah.
Jeez,
I
you got
do.
options to actually sit this week.
Yes, I do. It's a tough decision, to be fair, because I really want to play a Psycho, but I'm sort of tossing up between him or Burton. But I'm just thinking Burton had a poor week last week and back at home, crowd, things like that. Yeah, I think they should be back, and he might be.
Is Galvin still named, or is he injured?
No.
Yeah, but there's rumours he won't be playing.
Yeah, so I like that for Burton.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that's it. I think that's all we've got now, guys. So
I think so.
Huge episode, obviously very Farnworth heavy, but probably needed to be said because you were all out there having the same issues. Hopefully we have helped you out. Just again, if you want to see some quality content for basically a survival of the fittest, make sure you hit those comments, please, and add in Jesse, make your trades.
Make your trade.
Make your
Be a real man, Jesse. Be a real man. And for once, actually live the talk.
Live on air, I've made my last trade, but I will let the legends know first what I've done. So I've now got myself down to 0 trades. So it's just on Jesse now. Me and Trav have done our end of the bargain. We'll see what happens. Thank you very much. Thank you again to our sponsors. Very much appreciate all the support. We'll see you tomorrow night or Wednesday night for those listening now this morning, tonight, for our live show. Plenty to discuss, plenty of heated topics. It will be a big show. See you all there. Goodbye, Jesse. Goodbye, Trav. Catch you later.